Oh, it smells fishy as well, fishy and salty, like your mum. Whoa!
For 2023, KTM has updated the 890 Adventure with new rally-inspired bodywork, fresh suspension including adjustable forks for the first time on the base model, a reworked airbox, a snazzy 5-inch TFT dash, a cuddly toy, plus a new screen to combat previous turbulence complaints, a new seat, and improved engine protection. And then there's the introduction of KTM's demo mode, which gives you a bike riddled with rider aids for 1500 kilometres, but we'll get to that later. So the question is, with this slight evolution, has KTM done enough to maintain top spot in the highly competitive middleweight adventure sector?
It looks a lot better than it did.
Yeah.
It looked like, you know when a bee hits a fan sometimes and the head comes off?
I don't know, but I think the old bike, someone hit it, and this is an Instagram post, someone said earlier, someone hit it with an ugly stick. And it just wasn't very, I mean, the R looked more purposeful, but yeah, now I love what they've done with the front end. I love the kind of rally look. You know, if you get rid of the ball bags, as you call them.
Yeah, but I quite like the ball bags. They're a functional sack of fluid. It's a functional fluid sack.
But if you take away the ball bags and you sort of cover them up, it looks like a rally bike.
If you took the ball bags away, we'd only have like a 2-litre tank.
Yes, because the fuel is down low for a reason. And we'll get to this in a minute. It feels very different to bikes like the Tenere. But I guess part of why we're sat here is because this ride was so intense, and that's not a complaint. You were going on-road, off-road, on-road, off-road, constantly, and it was a proper test of the bike. This is why we're sat here now. It's just to take time and contemplate.
And have a chat about it.
Exactly.
Two mates down the pub having a chat, but with no beer.
With no beer.
And not in a pub.
No.
And not mates.
No.
Well, bon dia. Good morning. And welcome to Lisbon. Actually, we're nowhere near Lisbon. I don't know why I said that. We're about an hour from Lisbon. We flew in late last night. Now, unlike most bikes, updated bikes for any model year, usually you're expecting more power, less weight, it's a bit more expensive. Well, you're a bit wrong. You're wrong, mate, you're wrong. This is a very slight evolution, a light dusting on what was already an incredible bike. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it job. But KTM will come out with the 2023 890 Adventure, and I'll be honest with you, I'm quite surprised there's a launch for it. I'm quite surprised there is this much effort going into a bike that really there's not a massive amount different. Oi! Not sure where we're going. I think it's this way. Oh, what a way to wake up in the morning. I am surprised at the amount of off-road. Normally you have a little bit of a gravel track and a token sort of fire road for photos, for videos, but you know, so far it's like 50-50. Oh, look at this, boys and girls. Doesn't get much better than this. And I guess I'm surprised because does a bike like this actually warrant a proper international launch? Obviously KTM thinks it does. There's no problem with that. I'm happy coming to foreign climes to ride it. And obviously I'm not going to say no, but you know, maybe bikes like the Tenere and its sort of various options, various models of the Tenere, maybe that, and you know, the Touareg, bikes like that have thought, actually made KTM think actually we need to, you know, remind people of the 890 perhaps. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. So we put the bike in rally mode because of just how different the terrain is, going from off-road to on-road and sand to mud, and it's kind of nice if you like that sort of thing, if you like playing around, if you like dicking around. Obviously there's no ABS. I'll say obviously there is no ABS in the rear, which helps you off-road. There is on the front, but it's, you know, it's far less intrusive. Also means you can do wheelies, so when you're on the street like this, Oh man, look at this. Also means that you can leave it in rally mode on the street. It's the opposite of off-road mode. So rally mode, you can, the throttle is really quite snappy initially, and then softens off towards the top, whereas off-road mode is soft at the bottom and then gets gnarlier towards the top. So it's as I said, it's nice if you want to dick about. So the heated grips are good. It's a bit too warm. How do I turn the bastards off? What a motorcycle! Oh, we don't want to fall down there, Nige. What a route, and what a bike. I mean, I can't pick out an area that go, oh yeah, all those updates, they work, or this works, but as a package, as a kind of unit, this bike is, I mean, fucking hell, what we're doing at the moment is pretty serious. I say serious, not serious, but the capability is serious. Portugal is such a beautiful place. I love this sort of winter light, the low sun, sort of mist and fog in the background. It's like the golden hour every hour. Oh, it smells fishy as well, fishy and salty, like your mum. Yeah, I think rally mode so far is my favourite. Enough control and freedom off-road. And as I said, the stuff we were doing then, that's, you know, 10 years ago, even 10 years ago, if you said, oh, you can buy a road bike that's really good on the road but does loads of cool stuff and is really capable off-road, no one would have believed you. But you know, here we are, the middleweight adventure class, and boom. Yeah, as I said, it's not it's nothing too technical or tricky, but we weren't hanging about. It was basically like a rally stage. Cheers, Nige. Cheers, love. Bye, Nige. Nigella. Oh yeah. 360 degree views, baby. Jeez. 360 degree views, 890 degree adventure. What is this?
Paragliding.
Oh, no way. The thing I love about this bike, which separates it from most of its rivals, is that sort of stuff back there. The tradie stuff is so easy on this. When you're going hard and you're going in on the brakes, this feels like an enduro bike on the brakes. And you can go in, hammer it, brakes on. There's no panicking. There's no kind of this where the weight shouldn't be. It's just effortless, and it keeps egging you on and egging you on. And there's no nasty moments, no surprises. Because normally when you do that sort of thing, when you slam on the brakes, the rear might come around, or the, you know, all the weight goes to the front, and it just doesn't. It feels awkward on a lot of dual sport adventure bikes. But this is like an enduro bike on steroids, and I wish I could find a better analysis of that, a more accurate, a more articulate analysis of that, and I'll come to that. I don't know, there's something about that view. I like harbours, I like boats. There's something about that really appeals to me. I've never quite worked it out. I haven't got a boat, I've never driven a boat, except when me and my brother pretended we were qualified yachtsmen when we were on holiday, and we took out this yacht and capsized it and got in lots of trouble. Where are we going now? What are we doing? Isn't Nazaire the amazing place to go surfing? Or am I thinking somewhere else? Oh, that'll be it. This is it. This is the surf spot. TR, totally rad. Ugh. Ugh. Can't see. Come see, come sa. I've got to say, so we've done about 2 hours in the saddle now, and I think the biggest thing for me is the suspension. The old bike was harsh. It wasn't badly damp, but it was definitely more suited to road, and even then it was quite harsh. Just the damping wasn't exactly consistent. But this is really bloody good. Come on, mate. Fucking hell. It's the mechanical grip is massively improved. There's more confidence, as I said, it's more predictable, more progressive. None of the off-road has been challenging, but we have tackled some quite harsh stuff at speed, and there's been no sump leaks anywhere. I think when you look at bikes like the T7 World Raid, and for a few £100 more you get this with a lot more kit, a lot more electronics, which some people might like, might not. I mean, you can turn it off, don't complain. But you know, the big difference over those two bikes, as I said before, is this, what I touched on before, should I say, is the ABS. The ABS, this off-road ABS is incredible. And also, when you turn the bike off and turn the bike on again, you get the settings, the exact same settings with the KTM. Whereas the Yamaha, you have to faff around, and other bikes you also have to faff around and reset mode. So definitely a plus point, Nigel. Just got a bit keen there and remembered as the bike was backing in that I had no ABS on the rear. I think it's time for luncheon. Oh yes, my favourite time of day.
Let's address the demo pack, the demo mode, shall we? So, we've got very different opinions of this, haven't we? The demo mode is the fact that KTM have introduced this now. For 1,500 kilometres, you have an open book of electronic aids and functions that KTM seem to get a fair amount of flack for, even though other manufacturers do so. So you get rally mode, you get the quick shifter, you get the cruise control, etc.
All for free.
All for free for 1,500 kilometres. Regardless of whether you want it or not, you've got it for 1,500 kilometres. So it's an enticement, you know, to get people into it.
So just to rewind a little bit, so this is a few years ago, KTM started, it's almost like an unlock codes, aren't they,
yes.
effectively? That's how they, so the equipment is on the bike.
Yes.
You just need to pay to use it.
Yeah.
And that is just something, I mean, I don't like the way that sits with me. I understand, like, from a commerce perspective, but it's already on the bike. It's already there. Because you know it is, because if you've just been using it for 1,500 kilometres, then it's already there. And then to go, oh, take it away. I don't know. It doesn't sit that well with me, to be honest.
Well, I think...
How much are we talking?
How
much are all the bits?
I don't know the exact amount.
It's going to be £1,500 probably.
The configurator is not actually even out yet, and this is how dub plate this is. So the base model is £11,999, and which, you know, when you look at it, I'll get to this later. When you look at it with the Tenere World Raid, it's a few £100 more, and you get a lot more bang for your buck.
Looks a bit more premium.
Definitely, and it rides more premium as well. But all of this technology costs money. You can't just go, oh, tell you what, well, you can have it for free. I understand why manufacturers, I'm not saying KTM, other manufacturers charge for this.
I'll retract a little bit. In the current system of not having of just having to pay for it, it's still on the bike anyway. At least in this system, you get to try it for a bit. So exactly. I think it's a positive step in the way that the current system works, but I don't think the current system should work like that.
Okay.
It's a bit like a sort of PlayStation game, though, isn't it? It's a bit like you go and buy something on PS5 and then, you've got to upgrade to buy another stupid hat for your avatar.
Where it costs money to develop that hat for the avatar.
Not a lot, though, is it? Yeah,
no.
But the point is, it's already on the bike.
Well, that was a delightful luncheon. We had veggie lasagna and also some duck with rice. Oh, shit. It almost makes the R irrelevant now. I mean, you know, if you're serious off-road, then yeah, the R is going to be much better. But it's £1,200 cheaper than the R, and you get a lot of the techers now that the R's got. So yeah, it's tricky. So if you've never ridden the latest version of the 890 engine, it's so smooth and it's so unlike KTM. There's no kind of agricultural mesh at the bottom end. It's very, like I said, it's buttery smooth. This is third gear at 3,000 RPM. You can drop it as low as 2, 1.5, and it will still pull without trying to rattle the chain off the sprockets. But you still get that inherent Austrian fun factor, and yeah, it is a little bit naughty, of course it is. Those sort of big crevices and lumps and bumps and stuff, you can tell the shock isn't quite, well, it's nowhere near the standard of the R. So good, so good. I wish we had stuff like this in England, and I think this would be the first bike I buy. I've got to mention, this is why I love rally mode, well, one of the reasons I love rally mode. You got the slip function, so I've got gear position 5 here, I don't know if you can see it in the sun, but 5 and then 2, so you just up and down and you can adjust slip on the fly, and it is genius for going between terrains. And oh hello, here we go. I mean, it is quite strange having a screen to fit a bike. You can sort of 5-finger it rather than fist it. Maybe blokes with small hands or people with small hands can fist it. What a twat. Something that Chris mentioned then, and I'm going to steal this from him. Essentially, you've got a nice mid-adventure bike. Just dust the shit off the tyres. Dust the shit off the tyres. You've got a nice middleweight adventure bike, and then you leave it in rally mode, and you've got a super motorbike. You can do skids and wheelies on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it is a friendly supermoto, the BFG. Oh my god.
You had a great route, like intense, brilliant
Yes.
fun. So do you think that is, again, part of why you think that bike is better
Absolutely.
than the
Absolutely.
previous incarnation that you don't know? You just,
No,
you would
no,
just
no,
bang
no.
up. You would just bang up for it.
No, because you can tangibly palpably feel the differences over the old bike. Of course, it helps if you have a route and the terrain to show off a bike, which is exactly what manufacturers should do. At the same time, if it was shit, then it would show it was shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you have a route that is banging and you're smiling and you're enjoying what the bike is doing and what the route is doing,
What's the whole purpose of a launch, is it?
exactly.
Otherwise, just
yeah,
put an influencer on a grid
Yeah.
and get it to
Yeah.
sit on a bike.
Exactly.
And
Get the
pull
seat wet.
Pull a zip down a bit. Sold millions.
yeah.
I'd like to get more into a bit of off-road, but not like competitive, like super stuff. If I wanted a green lane bike, because everyone's like, oh, you just need to get an enduro. Has it changed now? Is that acceptable? Because obviously the lightweight 250s, 350s.
It's a good question. I think
I know it is.
really, there's no substitute for an enduro bike.
Okay.
It's massively lighter.
I am really strong
I know you're a hunk.
and big.
You could ride that green lane, dirt tracks, everything,
And just,
no
just,
problem.
Just get there.
And then
just get
yeah,
there.
you could.
Yeah, with a little tent on the back, maybe, and a little bit of camping and a little.
But again, there's a good point. You could not do that on an enduro bike because you haven't got any luggage capacity. Whereas that,
and I guess if you are on a journey traveling somewhere, once you get to a proper road, you're kind of a bit screwed on an enduro bike, aren't you?
yeah. And this is what makes this bike so good. It's a completely different ride to the T7 in the fact that it's a KTM. It's very sporty naturally. The chassis stiffer. There's no weight transfer. You know, on a big sort of soft adventure bike, regardless of capacity, you get that sort of kind of sloppy jalop. Not sloppy jalop, but you have natural weight transfer.
Yeah.
You do on a KTM, but you have less of it.
Yeah.
Far less of it.
Yeah.
So it's more poised. Therefore, it's more poised. It's obviously on the road as well. As I said in the video, you got a supermoto on the road, when you want to go fast, because it is essentially a big supermoto, and you've got a fat, heavy enduro bike off-road. So it's sacrificed in many parts, but essentially it's a do-it-all. Compromise in many parts, but it does so. It's less compromise than the Yamaha in most of it, and that's why it makes it a better bike for jumping from terrain to terrain.
These trails are so good. I mean, it's like today has been doing the best bits of the Tet, you know, without all the sort of heavy duty climbs and technical bits, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I can't remember the last time I've ridden a bike at a launch which complemented the terrain and the route as much as this has, or vice versa. Honestly, this could be all the bike you'd ever need. I mean, having ridden the stock 890 on proper road tyres, you know, you need some A41s and you'll be good for a track day. You can ride anything off-road within reason, obviously, and it's a proper little supermoto. Well, it is a supermoto. It's a bit heavy, yeah. It's a bit lively, yeah, but you probably need a bit more ground clearance as well. But you know, you get my point. It's the Daley Thompson of motorcycling, and I've overused that phrase a lot, so I'm going to try and think of someone else. I don't know any decathletes of the 21st century. When Yamaha released the World Raid, the Tenere World Raid, that was a big jump, and that was probably a better all-round bike than the 890. Now KTM have done this, and I can see why they've done it now. I can see why there's a launch. All those questions I was asking at the beginning of the day, I can now see why they've done it, because this now is like I said, it's nothing night and day, but it's a step forward. It's a progression, and it is, I'll go as far to say, better overall than the Tenere World Raid. So it's an interesting to and fro cat and mouse job, and long may it continue, because this middleweight naked class is bonkers. It will soon be as bonkers. It's wet, yeah. It will soon be as bonkers as the big bike class. You know, all the technology and the effort going in. So let's pretend you haven't ridden the 890 Adventure. What are you getting yourself in for? Well, overall, this new seat is much nicer. It's comfier. You got just about the right. I mean, it's good enough for off-road, but it was obviously a focus for on-road, or 50-50 split anyway. The engine wise, I said earlier, it's super smooth now. You can go as low as you want at the bottom. It's very linear. It has got a lovely kind of top end. You know, it keeps going. It's not your archetypal boring adventure engine. It keeps going. It's beautifully tractable. I mean, coming out of those corners on that supermoto section, then the connection to the rear wheel, the throttle connection to the rear wheel, is sublime. I think the chassis for this year, as I mentioned, the suspension, that's the clincher for me. I don't know how a bike can feel so different with just some chassis tweaks, because the engine's untouched, the chassis itself, the frame, is untouched. There's no geometry changes. I mean, it was a good bike anyway, but it just, I think because all the focus was on the R, and that R's, you know, the suspension and everything else, I think it wasn't cheap. Well, it was cheap. Oh shit, I'm in the right. Yeah, it was cheap, but this feels way more executive again. Doing 100-mile-an-hour off-road on a road bike. Tell you what, it gets your heart racing. Yeah, all the ancillaries are nice. The brakes, the clutch, the quick shifter. It's all really, really nice now. You know, even a couple of years ago it was a bit agricultural and a bit Tesco's own. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Shit. Oh my god, how did I stay on there?
because I'm thinking about getting rid of my big bike.
The engine is so fun. It's a KTM. Look, name me a boring KTM.
First gen Super Duke. It was a joke.
But the point is, it's inherently funny. When you open the throttle, It's inherently fun. When you open the throttle, it makes you smile. The engine, it's not your archetypal boring adventure engine. It's got some pep to it. And, on the roads out there, and that's the point I was going to make. Yes. So we don't have those variations and the array of terrains that we had in Portugal. And that is the big problem. You can't enjoy a bike like this to its fullest in England. You could, but you have to go really... You have to know
You can't enjoy anything in England.
No, you can't. You can do nothing.
Wales, maybe.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah. But yeah, the bottom line is that the engine is so fun. I wasn't going, okay, I need some more power here. I need some more power.
And it's an 890.
It's an 890. It's got 105 horsepower, which shouldn't be enough for most people. But I guarantee you, if you took this for a test ride, unless you were, even on the motorways, the wind protection. People were asking me actually about the buffeting from the screen. Obviously, it's got a new screen, the fisting screen, which I'll just show Chris right now, so you can actually fist the screen.
Oh, nice.
This buffeting has helped. But back to the original point, this bike, I'm convinced, is enough to do it all. And I think, honestly, I'd like you to ride it, because I don't think people who ride big adventure bikes, maybe they want that extra power, or they feel like they need to have it. But I don't think you need to have it.
You've just given me an idea for a fantastic test.
Go on.
The do it all. The do it all test.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
We'd have to do an off-road section,
Yeah.
a road section,
Yeah.
and a track section.
Yeah.
And
this
like a
could be
commute,
it.
And a commute.
And this could be it.
That could be.
I forgot to say on the vlog, actually, but for some reason, I had extra long enduro pegs on my bike, which is very nice, but you didn't need them, which did hinder its on-road performance, because the pegs were decking out when we were riding like Jeremy Hunt's.
Are you actually decking the pegs out?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Crazy guys.
Whoa!
Long story short, I was at a funeral, didn't get to the presentation, so I knew nothing about the bike apart from the headline figures in the press release. This little nugget here sums up what this bike is about. The 43mm WP open cartridge upside down fork is tuned specifically for adventure riding, with emphasis put on two-up touring, dirt trails, and badly corrugated roads. That's it. You don't need any more than that. That is the nugget you need.
Chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget.
These Amazon chairs are not doing well, are they?
No, they're not.
A little spray.
Yeah, can you spray me? For fuck's sake. Mate.
What? It doesn't smell.